Okay, let's start. Richard, do you want to start the updates?
Yeah, I can start real quick. So I submitted I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, I see it.
Um the Nevo IPI trial to BMJ Open. It got rejected pretty quickly. Um so what they said was this comment right here, I copied and pasted, but they felt that the methods section for the study needed to be more replicable. The sampling recruitment was unclear, no rationale for the sample size. And also, they looked at like they saw major discrepancies between our manuscript and the trial registry record, especially with the primary outcome. So basically, on like the NCT website, like
Mm-hmm.
right here,
Yeah.
it says that the primary objective is overall response rate.
Mm-hmm.
However, in I base the manuscript off of the trial document, this like protocol. And in the
Yeah.
protocol, the primary endpoint is median progression-free survival. So I wasn't sure what to do about that.
Hmm. Where'd you find this in the protocol?
Here, let me try to page 18. So it was right here. Let me try to zoom in. I don't know if you can.
Hmm. That's really interesting. Hmm. So here it says PFS. Hmm.
Yeah.
In secondary. So where is the part that NCTN that website cited from the
Uh, Sorry, what was the question? Like right here? You're looking for like where
No,
it
no,
said,
this is the DART trial, not our trial.
yeah.
But your paper is our single institution trial.
Oh, okay.
You got the wrong website.
I
So
see.
find this trial.
Yeah, okay. I'll look out for it. I'm not sure where I got this.
Yeah, look here. Objective. Yeah, primary is PFS.
Yeah.
So if you find this trial in the website, you should see primary objective. That's PFS.
Okay. SCT. Okay, I'll look out for it and then let you know if I can't. Um,
And if it's different than what's in the protocol, they cited the wrong thing. It has to be PFS.
okay. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, and the reason is adrenocortical, they don't shrink well. And a lot of times they don't progress fast. Um,
Hmm.
so really providing PFS benefit as and like compared to historical PFS is what we want to show.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Sorry about that. I'll um try to find that.
And then method, what they say it's not clear.
Yeah, so purple was like all the stuff that I added to make it more um, replicable and to increase information on sampling and recruitment.
Yeah.
So I have stuff in purple. I don't know if you want to just make sure it's okay.
So over 30 minutes, over 60 minutes, you don't have to be this specific. It's okay. You can take out for how long it's infused because that's too much information.
Okay.
Dosing is fine, but the time is okay. You can take out all that plus minus, all that. It's okay. Same thing. Niveau given first. This is too much information. It's okay.
Okay.
Manuscript, you don't need that. Um, yeah, the rest of it is fine.
Okay. And then I added more information about the endpoints, which I think that they wanted,
Mhm.
like rationale for the sample size. It's purple stuff here.
So this is a lot of detail. So I would say Simon two states with month um and initially based on sample size calculation 43 patients were planned to be recruited due to funding constraints. So what I'm saying is move all that to supplemental data, supplemental method. It's too much.
Okay.
And then it didn't happen. You know, the thing is you write about it, but whatever we justify, it didn't happen because of the funding situation. So I would say make a supplemental method and move that and just yeah, in the parentheses, just write supplemental method and move all that sample size justification paragraph there.
Okay. Um, should I keep this part like recruitment in the first stage is planned 15 people? Um,
But that's all planned, right?
I think this actually happened, or like the 15, like the first 15 patients were actually recruited.
Okay.
So should I include that part in this section?
Yeah, if it's something that happened, it's
Okay.
just leave it. Yeah.
Okay. Um, and then I'll just keep that part here.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Um, yeah, that was it. For it. I can try to reach back out to them and let them know that uh um we had the wrong information on it. Or do you think that we should try a different?
But can you just quickly search the
Yeah.
website, the primary objective, because you yeah, not this one, but put that the other trial here.
Um, like search online for it. CT.
So just go to that website, NIH, this website, and put the keyword here. Where's the search button?
Yeah, I'm not sure where the search is. Okay.
Yeah, just put adenoid cyst, adeno, and then intervention, nivolumab, ipilimumab. See what you get.
This one?
Is that us? Is that same? It's us, right? Northwestern?
Oh yeah, this one is different. Yeah, you're right. This one has a primary objective of PFS.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is us, right? This is our trial.
It looks like it. It's from Northwestern.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll use
So-
this one instead.
Yeah, because this one is what it's in. And does it say anything about accrual information? Go down. Study plan, go down. Does it seem familiar?
Yeah, it looks familiar.
Yeah, it's only us and I think it's our trial.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't see they're different, so.
Okay. Um,
I mean, you can tell them it's not different and we have our sample size justification in the supplemental. If you want to re-review it, let us know. Otherwise, we go to a next journal. Did
mhm.
we decide on the next journal?
You mentioned cancer before, just cancer, the journal.
Yeah, that's
Um,
the journal.
okay. I wasn't sure if there's another one that you wanted to look towards.
No, cancer is a pretty good one. Cancer.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So yeah, just tell them, in the website, it's not different. It's PFS and the same. I don't
Yeah.
know where they looked at. And then they still don't want to review, then yeah, move on to cancer.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, this is how you learn. This is what kind of see what people care about, like,
Yeah. You like
yeah,
the section.
yeah, good.
Okay, cool. All right.
Okay, so once you submit, this is the Nivo AP adenoid cystic. You have Nivo, what's the next on your plate? Nivo is it metformin or
Yeah, there's one, the Nivo metformin one.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. If you need help with it, we have a few new people joining our lab next month. If you need help writing it together, let me know or let Liam know.
Okay. Yeah, I'll
Okay.
do that. Sorry, guys. It's busy with clerkships right now. I'm on like night shift right now, so it's
Oh no.
very tough. But yeah, but we're getting through it.
Yeah.
Time,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Good. All right.
Okay.
Thanks,
Yeah. Thank you.
Richard. Okay. I think we have no one from Korea. Aranus, you're in a different time zone. So it's Dr. Yu Jung, thanks for joining. I know you're observing. So, but you'll be here pretty soon, so yeah, good to have you.
Yeah. Dr. Liam, can you share the screen so I can show Dr. Che my progress? Sorry, I don't know why, but like my pad is not showing the screen share option. So that's why I'm asking him.
Oh,
Dr. Liam,
and what do you want to share?
the spreadsheet about the
Oh, okay, give me 1 second.
Okay, sorry to put you on the spot like this. Can you go to the copy of included each studies? Yeah, can you decrease the size so Dr. Shea can see the whole table? Okay, thank you so much. So Dr. Shea, I'm like done with my studies. I had 21 total studies that I went through, and we are done with the extraction of data. And I mainly had like four studies, and out of them, three were systematic reviews, and one was meta-analysis. And because it's an umbrella meta-analysis, so they included other studies, and I had to check it three times because the quality checking is very tough in this study. So that's why it took so much time. And me and Brendan are almost done. He has head and neck, and I had sarcoma. And tomorrow, our group is going to have the meeting about like how to move forward. I don't think the Dr. Wu is here, so I can update. So our next priority is that we will do a quality check for the studies included, and after that, we will be moving towards the manuscript writing.
Very
Can you
good.
guys hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes. So that was the update from our cancer literature review, and yes.
So what is
What
the
was
next plan?
So the next plan is tomorrow we are meeting, where we will have the meeting, and Dr. Wu will give us the quality, like the quality, yeah, quality stuff, which we have to he would give us the point outs, which according to which we have to go through every studies and just recheck our data extraction by the end of this week. And from the next week, we are moving towards the manuscript writing. I will be doing it for the sarcomas, and Dr. Wu has asked me to like go through the articles and like find those particular articles, so that whenever we're writing the manuscript, it'll be easier for us, because sarcoma and head and neck are the two cancers which like the authors are really interested in, and because it's like less worked areas. And then like we are supposed to be done with this study by the end of the March. So I hope so. That is the case. And that's it.
Great, great.
You asked me that what was the one finding or like one new thing that I learned. So even though like the 5 year survival rate, the 3 year survival rates, there are like a lot of like survival rates, but overall the disease free interval in most of sarcomas is 1 year, or like around like 12 months, or like less than 1 month. So this was just like a very weird, something very weird for me, because, and I wanted to ask you this, that if the survival like time is so long, some people even are living for 5 years, so 25%, 70%, then why is the disease-free years or like time is so short for these patients?
Because these tumors, including adenoid cortical carcinoma, some sarcoma, desmoid tumors, the sarcomatoid tumors, some of them are very slow growing. So they are progressing for sure, but they live very long time because just purely they grow very slowly. Yeah. So
Okay.
disease-free survival is very short, but their overall survival is long.
Okay. And also the other question is that the sarcomas, which are of like gynecological origin, they have more survival like time period, and more patients are surviving. Do you think it has to do with like, because there is like a lot of research going on, or is there like a particular reason? Because I didn't found any reason whenever I was like going through articles.
Hmm. How did you find that trend? Did they compare original site of sarcoma? Where is that
Yes.
evidence? Can you show me?
yeah, the first three studies, as you can see, the first study, the ones in the yellow, these are mostly like you can see that the first three studies, two study was the first one was from like it was done in Japan, and it was like all female study, and it was like I think so to sarcomas which were originated in the uterus, and then they went to pulmonary, and then they did pulmonary metastasis. So both of these three of these studies were mostly like gynecological origin. And Dr. Liam, can you move it more towards the right so Dr. Chae can see that the survival rates are very good in these patients as comparatively to the other patients? Can you move a little more? Yes, yes, yes. A little. Yes, a little more. Yeah, there you can see. No, no, no. Just go to the left. Sorry. Yeah. You can see like the overall the 5 year survival rate are like 55, 34% and 34, and the others one are like not so good, like 23, 37%, 18%. And then so I was like looking for a reason that maybe it is like physiology or anatomy or something, but I didn't found it. So I was like, I want to ask you that question.
Hmm. First of all, I think every study is different, and I don't know why they selected only female patient. Um,
Mhm,
when this is a sarcoma study. So maybe they were looking at leiomyosarcoma, like the only
mhm,
uterine sarcomas, ovarian
mhm,
sarcomas. Uh, and yeah, I don't think that, we don't think gynecologic is a good prognostic factor. It can be good or it can
mhm.
bad. It's just a patient selection thing. So,
Oh, okay. So it's like a study bias thing.
yeah.
Okay. Well, that's it from my side.
Okay, very good. Keep up the good work.
Thank you so much.
And Brandon, give update.
Yeah, it's similar to Urano's. I can share my screen on my spreadsheet really quickly. Can you see my screen? So I just did the head and neck cancer portion. I looked into specifically two meta-analysis papers and I think around 29 or 30 unique systematic review papers. And I'm a similar pace as Aranis, we're both basically done. I rechecked the ones that I have access to in terms of full text articles. I'm just waiting on two more from my school that I should be getting today, and so the entire head and neck cancer spreadsheet should be completed by today. And then we're meeting tomorrow about it, and then I think each of us are presenting on like a grading scale. I'm specifically reading on this paper right here that Dr. Wu sent. So I'm going to prepare a presentation in our like small group meeting tomorrow on this. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
So grading of recommendations, assessment, development, evaluation, grade approach. Systematic and transparent approach for rating the certainty of evidence and systematic reviews and clinical practice guidelines. Yeah, it's good to know what this is and up to date and Cochrane collaboration. These are the ones that we like to look look into when we are looking for a solid level evidence, and someone has to evaluate the evidence and synthesize the evidence. So that's done by clinicians usually. But you guys are learning how to critically assess clinical data. And it's very different from, laboratory research where there's, clear cut answer, is this associated or not? No. Here is, a lot of clinical data with a lot of bias and a lot of patient selection. How do you weigh the data and how do you come up with a guideline? So, yeah, so hopefully you learn a lot from this, and yeah, let us know how you apply these into the actual writing manuscripts.
Yeah, this is like my first time reading this type of paper. So it'll be interesting to see because I think mainly like the research that I've done is more like clinical or like looking at more like patient data and all that, but this is more like looking at guidelines and the exact like I guess like policy and guidelines regarding each study. So I think it's an interesting read.
Good. Okay, thank you. Sally.
Yeah, so I'm gonna actually share my screen with this computer. Okay, we can start from EDW update. So, yeah, this week we have done 65, screened 65 patients. So we have around 1,190 patients left. So, yeah, we'll just keep up with this pace and we'll try to get it done as soon as possible. And then VC projects, so Eugene Kim, Dr. Chae, I don't know if you saw his email. He sent an email about the revision question like list and I can show you. So these are like the list of points like that they asked him to revise. And I think these I'm planning on sharing with other VC project leaders so that they can also make these revisions if necessary. And then they have this they like changed, they revised, and then gave us the final draft. And if you wanted to go through it and maybe leave some comments, that'll be good.
Let's go through it now. So do they have any questions about the reviewer comments? Or do they have all the questions right?
Eugene said he answered all the questions, but he just wanted to run it by you.
Okay, let's look at the questions first. So first comment, data availability statement. Okay, so he added, right?
Yes.
Okay. Overall, well written, the readers who are less familiar with the cancer field would benefit from additional description of genetic testing, germline. Edit the following section. Added according to the ACMG guideline. Yeah, I think this is good.
Okay.
However, they did not specify why they use these score threshold, which are indeed different from those recommended by algorithm developer. Why they use these score threshold? So polyphenols no numerical threshold given by the developer. We did not change the method. Okay. We score. There is no set threshold. We utilize the cutoff. Okay, go down. Okay. Go down. Okay. Yeah, I think this is good enough.
And then 3.
Error results. I frankly don't understand what these errors they refer to. I don't understand what kind of additional quality check was performed. The errors in silico not correctly. For example, in regards to okay, go down. So just remove. Okay, that's fine.
Okay. Notice improvement. Yeah. And then 6.
Strings. Okay. Looks
Okay.
good.
And then just continue.
Sensitivity. Author response. As we have.
$99.19.
Yes, so that's good.
And then
Yes. Hmm. Overlap between training set for various the other. I think, yes, this is fine.
okay. I think maybe
I think these are minor.
yeah. Results.
Yeah, it's okay. Okay.
Okay. I think that's it.
So I guess the manuscript is just reflecting these changes, right?
Yes.
And
So
that's
yeah, so it's due today, so I think they will submit it. And then we'll submit this into preprint. And then Grace Lee, so I talked with her about her project because Dr. Chae, last time we had this conversation on how we should let the co-authors also work on this project, like be the lead in this project. So I talked with her and she said she's not able to do it immediately, but she might be able to do it within like in couple months. So I think as long as they take initiatives and do it, I think it'll be okay. But I just wanted to let you know that that's an update for Grace Lee's project. And then Emma's project, I'm still waiting for their like final PDF manuscript. So I'm still waiting on that. And then lastly, Dr. Uni and I, our project.
what about SSRN?
SSRM.
Preprint. What about the preprint for
So
Emma?
I don't have their final PDF manuscript, so I couldn't submit it for them
Oh,
for
okay.
their preprints. Yeah, so I'm still waiting. Yeah, and then Dr. Yoonhee, she recently got back to me, and we talked about how we're going through like a revision process for our our project too, so we'll try to get that done soon.
Why revision?
Why?
Was it rejected or accepted with edit?
Um, she did not specify, but she just said we need to make revisions.
So was it submitted or not?
It was submitted.
Okay. So I know Uni is extremely busy, so make sure you write the paper with her. And we cannot rely on her because she's busy. So Sally, it's up to you to write whatever revision is required, and have a deadline that we'll do the revision by the end of this week. You can't say, oh, I'm in ICU, I can get back to you in 1 month. No, we have to get it out. So
Yeah. One
uh,
difficult part is that she's the one who submitted, so she needs to be the one to like kind of be the middle person to give all the
right,
information.
but if she doesn't get back to you in 1 week, it's not unacceptable. You take it away from her. If she's not moving things, revising things, 1 week passed, nothing happens, you either tell her you can't, we can't wait for you. What has to be done? If you're in a busy rotation, tell me what to do. If she can't be reached, tell me. I'm happy to call her by my cell phone. So what we cannot tolerate is we can't wait someone for a week or two and nothing happens. If there's something to be fixed, we need to fix it. And if that person cannot be reached, take the person out of the project.
Mm.
That's our policy. If we cannot, I did the communication session for a reason. If I cannot reach Uni, I cannot reach Emma, that person is relieved from the project. We cannot rely on a person we cannot communicate with. If that person is busy in ICU, then ask what can be done? What can I help to move the project forward? Answer these reviewers' comment, and you answer them in next 1 week and submit it on her behalf. That's what we call collaboration. We're not going to sit tight and wait for that person to come back. That's why everything is a teamwork. Someone will be busy. Let's say, Sally, you might be busy taking an exam. Then someone will step up and move all the papers for you when you're busy. In Uni's in ICU, then we work in teams. If she's not doing things, you do it with her. So it's a team play. You cannot rely on one person to do it. Everyone will get busy. And we're not talking about fairness, but that person's job, why am I doing that person's job? No. The mentality, it's a team. And if one person's busy, you move the project forward. We cannot sit and have nothing move forward for a week. So see what you can do to help Uni. And I have the same issue. It's very hard to get in touch with these people who are doing their clinical rotation. So my expectation, I don't have any high expectation for them, but at least once a week, get in touch with the point of contact person in the lab, make sure the project is moving forward, not waiting for their response on what to do. So they should at least once a week, this is what we need to do. This is how you submit. I don't have bandwidth to submit, or I have bandwidth to submit. Just give me 1 week. So make sure, Sally and Liam, you guys are in a position to move the project forward. And it's the hardest job because you can't get hold of people. Welcome to welcome to the research world. It's always hard to move things all forward, but whatever we can do, we should do it together to make it happen. So
Yeah, we're in conversation with together to like work on it. So we will see how we can make those revisions soon.
okay.
Yeah, and then one last thing, I wanted to go through the red cap. Actually before that, Dr. Liam, I know you had a meeting with Barat, and did you have any feedback from him?
So just a couple of things I was going to tell you in person, but we need to include like recurrence information. We can put that in. That was pretty much it.
Okay. Dr. Chae, would you like to go through it to see if there's anything you would like to add, or?
Pre-trans, post-transplant TNM.
Sally, do you want to first describe the different sections we have?
Okay. So we have these different sections: snapshot, demographic, treatment history, biomarkers, adverse event, oncologic history, and transplant hospitalization. So under each category, there are sets of various variables that we want to collect. And first, it's the snapshot of their transplant information and surgery, like age, and whether they're alive, like dead or they're still alive.
I would, so why do you have post-transplant TNM all separate? They could be just TNM.
So that, Liam, do you want to explain, or basically he said sometimes we want to look at by different stages. So like, so that we can filter patient.
Filter. What is stage Oh, just the TNM stage and stage number. What is that stage? Is that pre-transplant stage?
This post-transplant point stage
To
or pre?
just the flat stage number. The below down to.
Oh, this one?
Yeah, what is that?
It's the stage number. Let me check.
So you only have pre-transplant stage and post-transplant stage. If you just write stage, I don't know what it is.
Dr. Liam, do you
For
have
this,
any?
Dr. Chick, yeah, I assume we would like the post-transplant staging is more relevant, right, Dr. Che?
No, usually post-transplant staging is NED, no evidence of cancer. So
Oh, as in like the pathologic staging.
so that's that's called pathologic staging for X transplant. Lung that's taken out, staging. Okay. So
Mhm.
when you say post transplant, it's a little confusing.
Okay, we can change the term to pathologic staging.
Okay.
Pre-transplant, post. Pre-transplant, pathologic. Post-transplant, yeah. Okay. Yeah, just take out the stage number because that doesn't mean it.
Take it out, or should we change to pathologic staging?
Well, the pathologic staging is same thing as post-transplant stage, and you already have it there.
Okay. We'll do that. Then the next one is demographic.
And
Yeah.
then right below mucinous, just like the Hesong's project, you can put lipidic feature as the next variable.
Okay. 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 Let's go make that change. So the next one is just demographics. Anything to add or take out?
No.
The next one. Um, Taking some time to load. Maybe it be faster. Okay, treatment history. For the variables.
So there could be many immunotherapies. Hmm. And how did you come up with all these answers, the variables?
Yes. So this is from an Excel sheet that we used with Tarek on our like our initial kind of interim analyses. So yeah, initially because we had, it was a smaller sample size and it took time, and it still takes time to build the REDCap database. Like we were just working off of an Excel sheet, like a shared one Outlook Excel sheet. And these were the variables that he had collected for what we had collected for the interim analyses that we have so far. And then we're just as a first draft, we're copying over all the variables into REDCap and then planning to add and subtract as we see fit. And this was one question we did have for you is since these patients have multiple lines of prior therapy before receiving the transplant, for most of the patients at least, do you think we should capture all of that information in the REDCap, or would that be too much information?
What information you're referring to?
So all the different lines of therapy,
Yeah,
like
line of
the
therapy.
regimen, when did it start, when did it stop?
Mm,
Or do you think it's sufficient just to put like the number of lines of therapy previously?
I think it's fair to say just number of lines.
Okay.
Mhm. Yeah. And sometimes people would get more than one lines of immunotherapy or immunotherapy containing
Yeah.
regimen.
Mhm.
So the last dose of immunotherapy, because we care about the rejection risk going up, so I would write that. When was the last dose of immunotherapy given to the patient? That date.
Okay.
So if you don't specify, all these questions gonna be really hard to answer if you have multiple lines of therapy.
Yeah. So yeah, we can just keep the number of lines of therapy and the last immunotherapy date.
Right.
So should we take out like names of ICI regimen, things like that then? These other variables.
Yeah. I think we can work on we can go over the specific changes in person, Sally.
Okay. And then next. Sorry, it's taking a long time to load. Okay, next is biomarkers section.
So what is Tempest results median 6.8? What does that mean? So I would
It's
just
the
say,
TMP usually.
so I would just say write TMB. You don't have to write, you don't have to code them because they're all different.
TMP.
And TMB may come from many different tests, so I think you can get TMB from the in-house as well. So you have to write down where that TMB is coming from. So I would just write in-house TMB, Tempus TMB, and then just actually write down the number.
Okay. Okay, when they write down the TMB number, I'll make a section where they can choose whether it was from Tempest or in-house. Any other
But they can
comments?
also have both, Sally.
Yeah, so I can do like a checkbox, so they can either choose both or
Okay. But the two values might be different. Does that make sense?
it does. I think I'll play around, but I think in that case, I don't think we can make these we have to make these optional then, because not everyone has both. So
Yeah, that's fine.
yeah, we can make it.
We have cell search as well, CTC. The thing is, you have, these biomarkers before transplant and after transplant. So I feel like so the reason for building database is for us to extract data better and have it in real time. So I understand. Yeah, let's just leave it as is. It's okay. But make sure this is all pre-transplant numbers. Can you go down genetic variations?
You just have to click whether it's positive or negative.
Okay, go back up. There's too many mutations here, so, and even if there's mutations here, it's hard to figure out what's functional, what's not functional. So I would just leave EGFR and KRAS, ALK, BRAF, and get rid of everything else. Okay, it's too much.
EGFR, KRAS, ALK, and BRAF.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one is adverse event. So yeah, we said, does the patient have pneumonitis? And if yes, these questions will pop out. But if no, they don't have to answer these questions.
Does patient have pneumonitis? Pneumonitis. Time to pneumonitis.
So this one will actually be calculated automatically.
Like
Time
how?
from surgery to date of pneumonitis. Like the duration, like how long it took.
So is this post-transplant or pre-transplant pneumonitis?
Oh, this is wait.
I think it's pre.
Yeah.
Intending it to be like should we capture both pre and post pneumonitis? Like obviously, I think post transplant pneumonitis is important. I guess we can look at pre transplant pneumonitis and if that has an impact.
Post is more infectious or rejection or graft versus host disease. Pre can be anything. And for cohort A, everyone receives immunotherapy, sometimes radiation. So pneumonitis is concerned for pre. And less so in post. So I would ignore post, focus on pre. I would say if it's drug induced, start of that drug to the emergence of pneumonitis, that's time 2. And some people get transplant in the middle of pneumonitis, so it's hard to say when patient becomes pneumonitis free. So time 2 is when did the initiating event like drug therapy or radiation start? And then when did you actually develop pneumonitis? That's the time 2. Okay.
Okay.
Next.
Next is oncologic history. Okay. Here's the oncologic history.
PFS. Tumor foci number. Why, how did you get that?
It was in the Excel sheet we collected before. We can get rid of it.
So is this pre or post transplant?
This is pre. Well, tumor foci number probably pre.
So we are looking at two different outcome. One, everyone will get new lungs. And from the new lung, what is the recurrence-free survival? And what is overall survival? Starting from transplant. So that's a transplant outcome. And that's the most important outcome we are measuring. But from the diagnosis of cancer, and we're talking about diagnosis of stage 4 cancer, which is stage 4A, which is bilateral. In that case, from that diagnosis, because you can have stage 1 resection cured for 10 years, another stage 1 resection cured for another 5 years. We don't care about the first early stage diagnosis because a lot of them can be cured. We are talking about stage 4 diagnosis, and then we're gonna see from that day till NED, curative treatment, which is transplant. What was the timeline? So that to us is time to transplant. And it's not PFS. It's not EFS either. So time to transplant from the day you're diagnosed with that indication for transplant. I think that's important. The prior PFS without also another chemotherapy, line 1, line 2, line 3 is not really important here. So the outcomes that I told you are the ones that I would focus on. But line of therapy and what they are is okay to collect. It's fine. Yeah, so you have to be clear from what time point to what time point are you measuring. So as long as you get that clear, it's okay. Next.
Okay. I'm just gonna fill everything in. So posting next thing faster. The last is transplant hospitalization information.
So I would also, well, some are waiting in ICU for lung. Some just come in to get lung the very first day. So this, you have to say what this case is. So hospital stay before they get new lungs, hospital stay after they get new lungs. So make sure you classify them in a two different category, whether it's ICU or the total hospital. Make sure you, and you can have the total days too, but what is pre, for some people just keep waiting for 6 weeks, they get lung, and once they get lung, they get discharged after 2 weeks. Sometimes I've had, the current few patients who are admitted post transplant are not doing well. They're on pressors, their lung is not expanding. It's just horrible. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Sounds good. I think that's it for me.
Okay. So whose job is to record red cap? Is this Dr. Barak
Well,
want both of you to be in charge, or?
so we're in discussion of that right now. We may have to help. Previously, what we had discussed was so Dr. Barat hired a new nurse practitioner for
Right,
the dream study, but she's also on the clinical side. But initially, when we discussed, like she would be in charge of the red cap,
yeah,
she would have the necessary training and she would have the bandwidth. But when she just started like this week,
mm-hmm,
and apparently she has like 2 months of onboarding.
yeah,
So we'll see how her. Yeah, we're trying to figure that out. But the original idea was she would be in charge of it, but depending on how much other responsibilities get thrown at her, she may need some help.
yeah. Yeah, because I think because she's a oncology nurse practitioner, she will have the most depth of knowledge to be able to record these. But at the same time, she's not medical oncology, so she may not know, is it immune-related pneumonitis? She might not have that depth of knowledge. So, yeah, but just help her. And for now, the priority for Dream is for the first 6 patient with Dream Court A, we should write the case series and publish that. So Sally, Liam, and Dr. Wu need to help Terry finish the draft. That's our priority. Cohort B, we're waiting for one more adrenocortical patient to get transplant. And that will happen soon. So once we get at least 2 cases, we're gonna write that up. So Liam and Sally, you should be in charge of writing that up with Tarek. Tarek is not a, uh, English is not his mother tongue, so he needs a lot of help. And then third is Court C. Make sure you have the full list of Court C, and write the case series with Tarek as well. So I don't view this as Tarek's own project, but this is everyone's project, everyone involved in Dream, and we need to get this data out ASAP. So same thing, Sally and Liam, work with him to publish this, because I know we got all the abstract out, but yeah, don't wait for him to reach out. Just work with him to write it together. Divide and conquer, share, what can we do, make what table, and what reference, work with him, because I don't consider this as, like academic. This is a trial, and if we don't have publication, we're not gonna go anywhere. People don't believe in what's not published. So it's our own experience, but we're not gonna go out saying this is what we did. We publish and people will read and people will follow if they think the evidence is good. But it's our duty to present the data, as in the most persuasive way possible, that this makes sense to at least to us and hopefully to them as well. Okay. Next.
So Dr. Chae, I had a question about that. So cohort A, I don't know if you had a chance to discuss this with Dr. Barat. He wanted to wait until we had a little bigger sample size.
So
Did we come to
my
decision?
stance is write everything out.
Mm-hmm.
We may or may not get more patient. I don't know how long we're gonna wait for cohort A, because I think we're getting more cohort C's. We're not getting cohort A's.
Yeah.
I don't want to sit and wait forever, but be ready. So have the paper ready, publishable quality. If we get one more patient, we'll just add that patient into the statistics. But we can't sit there do nothing. We have to have a paper ready to go And if we get a few more patients, we'll just add those patients in and submit it. So in either case, I think we need to be fully ready.
Understood.
Yeah,
We'll work with Tarek and get those ready.
okay. Anything else, Ellie?
Yeah, that's it for me.
Okay. So for the variant classification, still work with uni, but for the actual paper, work with Tarek. That's the most urgent one. Okay. And Carolyn also has a few papers she's working on. So feel free to help Carolyn as well. She has really good project with immune toxicity. So I think she's a great researcher, and you'll learn a lot from her. Liam, who did we pair Carolyn with? Do you remember? Was it another medical
No one,
student? Remember you interviewed two medical students. One was Justin, the other one, did you pair her with? No?
I don't think so.
Okay. Who is Justin working with? Do you know, Sally?
Justin's working with us on the EDW, right, Sally?
EDW. Mm-hmm.
Just EDW? Okay. Okay.
But he's been only going into shadowing, so he hasn't been really doing research.
Okay.
That's the only time he can come in on Fridays.
Okay. Yeah, let's make sure he's involved in research. Okay. Haesung, are you do you have you read the journal paper that I sent you? Oh, I can't
With
hear
art
you.
and transplant.
I can't hear you. Are you muted or?
I can't hear him.
Oh, we can hear you now.
Can you
Yeah,
hear
we
me?
hear you now. Oh, weird.
You can hear her through mine, right?
I can hear you, but I
Yes.
couldn't hear her.
That's not your.
Wait, you still can't hear me? That's so weird.
Oh, I hear.
Now I can hear you.
Sally,
Okay.
can you try muting
Yeah.
yourself? I think we're good.
Yeah.
Yes, we hear you.
Okay, yeah, I was just saying, like, with DART and the project, the transplant project with Dr. Wangi, I just didn't have any time. I was just busy finalizing everything. It's just too much, I'm sorry.
Okay. Are you able to do it by next week?
I'll try my best. It's just been busy finalizing everything.
Okay, let's do it next week, 27th. But I want to show people the paper. Can you at least share the screen of the PDF file of the paper that I sent you?
Um, yeah, one sec. I don't have access. I will share this with Sally. Can you help me?
Okay, good. Now I can see. So I want to just give you guys brief overview how it important these type of projects are. Now we as a solid tumor community are moving into cell therapies. So what is cell therapies? We engineer cells, and in this case, T cells. And last week, the first ever T cell therapy was approved, FDA approved by well, but well, from the years and years of hard work coming from NCI and many different labs doing T cell research. And CAR T cell is chimeric antigen T cells engineered. So you take T cells out from patient's body, blood, and then you engineer them and you put them back into patient body. So that's called cell therapy. Now you can put T cells. In case of COVID-19, what do? We take the blood out from patient who recover from COVID-19 and extract antibody. So those are proteins, and then put them back into patient. So that those are antibody therapies. IVIG, what is IVIG? You extract IGs from miscellaneous people and you pull them together, and there was IVIG put back into a different patient. Okay. Now with cells, it's very different because you're getting your own cells back into your body. And this has worked in myeloma, in leukemia, in lymphoma, but it was very hard to do that in solid tumor. Now we are able to do that much better, and the future is really coming. So understand what's happening is really important. So let's okay. So next week, Haesung's going to present on the naturally occurring T cell mutations that enhance engineered T cell therapy. So what is cool about this is that we turn what is the strength of the cutaneous T cell lymphoma into a weapon that attacks human solid cancers. And someone who read this article compared this article as a discovery of penicillin. This you know how penicillin was discovered? It's by pure luck. Okay. Maybe Haesung, you can read into how penicillin was discovered and give your opinion about why that analogy was made. Because same thing, they looked at mutations and they, by pure luck, they were able to use that mutation to fight against human solid tumors. So I want you to look at this article with a lens of how this can transform our solid cancer therapies. We're talking about PD-1 and CTLA-4, but that could be all obsolete when cell therapy works wonders, okay? So I don't know the future, but this is a promising future we're facing with this article. So I want you to really read the article to really understand the future. Where are we going with this? Now, I'll give you maybe Yujong. I can assign you a one paper you can read, because so T cell therapy, like I said, so this is an engineered T cell, like a CAR T cell therapy, but then there's a T cell therapy from patients who are already sensitized by the tumors, and you just expand them and put them back into your body, okay? So that's called T cell therapies, not CAR T cell, but that CAR therapy has been FDA approved last week. So you can talk about the indication what that therapy is, the basic concept, and the pivotal paper or the research that led to the FDA approval. What is the study? How did they do it? And why did it lead to approval? Okay, so Haesung, you can do 10-15 minutes. Yujung, you can do 10-15 minutes on that T-cell therapy. So I really want to emphasize that this is the future. And not only those two, I want all of you to read those papers and learn. We're of course we're here to do research, but we can only learn when we really read papers critically and really discuss what's actually happening here. Um, and go from there. So I just wanted to emphasize the cell therapy is coming. We have many cell therapy clinical trials in my clinic. A lot of them cause what? Cytokine storm. Because you're boosting immune system too much, you feel like you're having flu. Some people die of cytokine storm. And that's a very dangerous side effect. That's one of the reasons why these therapies were or are still not in the not present in the future in time being. I would also say Carl June from UPenn is the pioneer of the CAR T therapy, and I think where so if you guys haven't read already, Siddhartha Mukherjee wrote the book The Emperor of All Melodies. You should all read that book. It's anyone who studies cancer, I think, should read that book. And he wrote also a book called Gene. He wrote many good books. So he's a medical oncologist like myself. He was a faculty at Columbia University in Manhattan. And when I was resident, I went to Columbia University to interview with him in person. So it was, it was a really good experience talking with him, and he presented his own research. He was doing research on myeloma at that time. But he was such a passionate speaker and a researcher. But my point is, when he wrote the story about genes and cancer and the experience of Carl June developing CAR T, Carl June said, the CAR T therapy would have been all killed if the first 1 and 2 patients expired, but by luck, pure luck, they were able to survive the horrible cytokine storm and had their leukemia in remission. And if both of them died, the whole CAR T program would have been all killed and just no more of this crazy stuff. So what I'm trying to say is a lot of medical discoveries are coming from what we see as a pure luck. But it's someone else's, years and years of hard work, and not, losing the sight of what's important and where the future is. So I applaud Chaehyuk's hard work in carrying out this hard work with his partner at UCSF. This I think will transform solid tumor treatment in the future. People just don't know how important this is. When people discovered PD-1, Kyoto University, by Dr. Honjo, no one knew the power of PD-1 at that time. Many years later, he won Nobel Prize for discovering PD-1. So I feel like the future is coming for the cell therapies. And we have to make this off the shelf now because cell therapies are expensive. Engineering T-cell is not easy. But if you can make the off-the-shelf cell therapies, so a lot of NK cells are now off-the-shelf cell therapies. So I want you to know that there is many interesting things happening beyond double lung transplant, PD-1 therapies, and cell therapy is one of those. We have CAR T cell therapies too in our clinical trial portfolio, but figuring out where to go next, where to invest in. I think it's really important for you guys as a aspiring future oncologist. So that's why I want to continue to have this book club, journal club every week, so that we can learn as a group and discuss. Okay, but we want to do it back to back next week because I think both are very related. First ever FDA approved therapy of T cell therapy in solid tumor world in melanoma, and a breakthrough in solid tumor CAR T therapy with our own Chae Lab from Northwestern. So just wanted to tell you how important these progresses we make are. Okay, let's take 10-minute break and we'll come back. All right, I am back. Okay, Hesong, let's talk about your updates.
I'll start as usual. Non-epithelial, I finalized it yesterday and I've asked Liam to submit it to CCR. BAC, we're still waiting to hear back from therapeutic advances in med-onc. Thyroid, Dr. Kurzbach has asked me to revise some things, and so I did. And I sent you the revised version to you yesterday.
Should we go over it
So you can
now?
just forward. Well, it was just like regarding the journal requirements, and so Dr. Kurzbach still hasn't like given us any feedback.
Oh, journal requirements.
Yeah, like just JCO requirement related things. So it was just a minor like revision I had to make.
And did they require translational relevance?
Yeah, that was a thing. So no, I'm not sure where that came up, but maybe we like changed the journal or something. But yeah, not for JCO.
Oh, okay. So it was more technical, and then once,
Yeah, just technical.
so with the revised one that we can, do you think Dr. Kurdrak has to see it again, or we can circulate now?
No, she hasn't had the chance to like give us her final comments. I
Oh,
think it's like her first time actually
oh,
seeing
that
the
was,
finalized version.
oh, really? Oh, okay. Now, because
'Cause it just,
for us, we were waiting forever for the translational piece, but she didn't.
yeah,
Oh, okay. Now I get it.
right.
Okay. So we wait for her final edit. Yeah, okay.
Right. For clear cell, we're still collecting COIs, just a few more people left. And then desmoid, it was finalized on Friday, and I've asked Liam to submit it to JITC.
Okay.
And then Volver, I finalized it yesterday, and I sent you the draft.
And is this some pretty clear? Do I have to review it with you, or is it pretty clear we discussed?
Yeah, I think Dr. Kurzweil just wanted to see the final version before like circulating it, but it was just all things I could handle myself unless you want. I mean, I sent you the final drafts yesterday, so you can take a look if you would like.
Can I see it with you right now?
Oh, yeah.
Just show me the ones you corrected or revised.
Well, so she wanted to just add this part because there was one unconfirmed PR. So with that included, then it becomes 31%.
Okay.
It was just like wording issues,
Okay.
and then just minor things.
Yeah.
Oh, she keeps on mentioning that if we got the approval from NCI IRB and whether I mentioned it, and it's clearly here, so maybe she didn't see it, but I just highlighted just in case.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
it is.
this is an issue for all the cohorts. I'm not sure why. Yeah, it's becoming an issue for her. Just added more details regarding the patient with unconfirmed PR, and again, the CBR with that incorporated, and then discussion accordingly. Oh, the one big thing I added here is that she wanted to know if there was ever a study, like a randomized study that compared combination therapy versus monotherapy. And I haven't been able to find anything, but there was this one recent paper that was published. It was very similar to ours in that it was single arm and they tested Nivo-Ipi combination.
but their cohort was very heterogeneous. It had what, so first of all, the vulvar cancer was vaginal plus vulvar. So we can't even determine if these 5 patients had vulvar specifically.
Hmm.
And this also had like clear cell, all the other gynecological cancers. So it was very heterogeneous. But anyways, out of the 5 patients with vaginal vulvar, only 1 person achieved CR. And then I just talked about this ongoing phase 1 trial that tests Durva-Tremi combination with radiation therapy in gynecologic cancers that includes vulvar cancer.
Hmm.
And then there was this like preclinical study that talked about the immune suppressive microenvironment in vulvar cancers. And so this kind of provides like a rationale for testing combination immunotherapy in vulvar cancer. But this one isn't new, like we discussed previously, and thought it was appropriate to add here to provide some rationale for the combination therapy.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this concept that immune suppressive. So you've seen in DART a lot of Kara Haymaker's previous presentations that a lot of our patients who responded to nivo-ipi are coming from immune deserts. And the role of CTLA-4, here they use the word rejuvenate. Yeah, rejuvenate memory T cell. And where are these memory T cells? Maybe in nearby lymph nodes. And bringing them into the immune desert, is the key. And that's kind of the rationale for why we're doing the DART study or the last trial. Also, the bispecific of PD-1 CTLA-4 with better immune toxicity profile. Yeah. So yeah, I'm glad you found this preclinical rationale. Yeah. Okay.
And then, so for the discussion section, Dr. Kurzbach thought it was too, like, kind of all over the place. So I just kind of rearranged things so that the first paragraph is about our study and the core findings. The second paragraph is focused on like ongoing studies or past studies that tested combination immunotherapy in vulvar cancers. And the
Okay.
rest is about monotherapies. Like the big one, Checkmate 358. We went over this previously, but the rest is just about like, Nivo monotherapy, Pembro monotherapy. Again, Pembro, that includes all the other cancers with 18 vulvar squamous cell. And then just strengths and then a note about the expression of PD-L1 and HPV negative.
Mm-hmm.
And how it compares to other HPV associated cancers. And again, in summary, CPR plus unconfirmed PR. And this is just something that Dr. Kurzbach wanted to add.
Yeah. Looks good.
And then I just cut down all the references so that it's 50.
I see.
But yeah, those are the big ones. Yeah.
Show me
So
the
yeah, that's
waterfall one more time. Yeah. So I would say if someone shows you this graph, I would say this agent is worth developing because of the deep responses you see in the first 4 patient. And if you look at the control, it's about 2/3. So it's rare, but we don't have many treatment options. So it's really good to develop these options for them. So good job.
Thank you. And so you just gotta forward that to Dr. Kurzbach so that we can have our final approval and then can send it for circulation.
Yes.
Yeah, so what needs to be basically sent to Dr. Chris Rock is the thyroid one, or the thyroid cohort and the vulvar
Okay.
cohort.
Yeah. And COI is being collected by Patricia, and we don't have to do anything, right? She's gonna just let us know, right?
I believe so, but I'll check if it's
Yeah.
getting too late.
Yeah, because I feel like we're waiting too long. And ask her if there's anything I can do, Dr. Chae can do to speed up the process. Yeah, just CC me. Yeah. It's like
Ye-
some people are not getting the right emails. We've had one investigator who retired, so the email doesn't exist anymore. So there are things that are kind of out of control. So if we sometimes we have to do investigation. Okay.
Yeah, I mean the Clearstone guide was due yesterday, but yesterday was President's Day. So
Okay.
let's just
Yeah.
wait for maybe another 1 or 2 days. Small cell ovarian, I sent the final papers to Patricia yesterday, but again, President's Day, and so
Mm.
she'll get to this very soon and send it out to other authors.
Okay.
Sarcomatoid, I actually wrote the introduction, but the major problem I have with this
Yeah.
is you see this, right? You see the data?
Oh, mesothelioma,
Yeah, that's the thing. I wonder why that's there.
sarcomatoid mesothelioma. Hey, Liam, do you remember this? Because I know we looked at the pathology reports together on this cohort before we submit the abstract. Do you know why meso is here?
I can't tell you like the specific reason. So we did look at this yesterday briefly, but
Yeah.
if you want, I can check the path report again. I think
Yeah.
initially we decided to keep them in this cohort, but yeah, we can double check and
Yeah.
remove if you think it's necessary.
While Haesung is presenting, can you just go back to your sarcomatoid folder? Because we know we got the pathology reports all in PDF file. Can you find this patient and then pull it up and share the screen so that we can look at it together now? Now meaning like in next few minutes. So I agree.
Yeah, let me try.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If
I
it's
have it
meso,
downloaded on the desktop, but I should be able to find it in my email. So yeah, I'll
yeah,
try
yeah.
and find it and pull it up.
Yeah. So sarcomatoid carcinoma, if it's not carcinoma and mesothelioma, it shouldn't be here. If it's,
Right.
yeah, but there's carcinosarcoma.
Okay, so I will show you the WHO. Okay, so this is the 2021 WHO classification. So sarcomatoid carcinomas, that's the big category, and underneath that there are pleomorphic, pulmonary blastoma, carcinosarcoma, and under pleomorphic there are giant cell and spindle cell. And so here you're seeing like both the big categories. And apparently, this one is sarcomatoid, Liam said, but carcinosarcoma is a subtype of sarcomatoid, and spindle cell is also a subtype. Carcinosarcoma.
So
I think it's, huh?
really differentiate. I think that probably has some with sarcomatoid features or something in the report that made us put patient here. So let's check this patient as well, Liam.
Yeah, I saw the report Dr. Liam showed me, and it said like spindle or something. But yeah, we should definitely come.
Oh, it said spindle something, spindle cell features or spindle.
Yeah, most of them had like at least a spindle cell feature.
Okay.
terminology in the report.
Okay. So then we have to write that here, polydifferentiated carcinoma with spindle cell features or something when we, present each individual histology.
So what my problem with this is that sarcomatoid carcinoma again is like a very heterogeneous like a cohort such like NEOC as well, non-epithelial ovarian cancer. We got all the subtypes. We classified them into like granulosa cell tumor, sertoli related, blah blah blah. And then
Right.
I talked about like studies that included just the subtypes. Like introduction was focused on each subtype kind of thing.
Mhm.
But with sarcomatoid, Liam was saying that many path reports didn't actually like specify the subtypes. And so for many of these, we can't actually figure them out. And so I'm just trying to decide like how to exactly write this paper. For the introduction, I was just very broadly talking about sarcomatoid, but not the subtypes specifically. And I'm
Right.
not even sure if it would be good to mention these specific histologies because some are just broadly sarcomatoid, but some are specified as like carcinosarcoma.
So I think we just have to be transparent, and I would say you can put these histologies in the supplemental more and just say this is how it was, like a footnote. This is how it was described in the path report. Quote, this is how they described it, and just be transparent in how it was written, reported out. So yeah, I would put that in supplemental.
So like histology, like as reported, like per path report pathology or something like that.
Yeah, we didn't do any central review. I mean, we put that in the method, right?
No.
So
Right. This needs to be updated, like now. Yeah, if Liam, could you just maybe like go over each patient and give me, it would be best to get all the subtypes. So yeah, if you could confirm that for me, that would be great. And if we have to take a
Yeah.
mesothelioma, then we'll have to update all of these.
Oh, then
So
I
I
have
just tried downloading the. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just tried downloading the file on my computer, but for some reason I can't expand the zip file, so I can't open it on my laptop. I'm asking Sally if she can help me pull up the file from the desktop right now.
Okay.
So give me.
Okay. Any other questions?
I wrote the introduction part. Would you like to see this now, or would
Yeah,
you like
yeah.
to see it once
Yeah,
the
if you're done-
discussion is finished?
If you're done with introduction, I can look at it now.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're gonna add the references, right?
Yeah.
What reference program do you use, Hong?
I use Zotero. It's nice and cheap, or like it's free actually. And Liam told me.
Oh, what is it called?
Zotero, you can add it to Google Docs.
Oh, Zotero. Yeah, it works with Google Doc really well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to work with RefWorks with Word, but I think Zotero is good. So Liam, with any researchers working in a lab, make sure they can at least know how to use Zotero. I know some people are still doing it manually, so we want them to use technology. Um, So you mentioned exon 14. Is there evidence that exon 14 is more prevalent in sarcomatoid?
Maybe.
It's the most common and well-studied mutation type occurring in about 22. Well, most common among MET? Is that what it is?
I guess overall it's what it's saying.
If it is, then it's worth mentioning it in your
Mhm.
even in the introduction. So even compared to KRAS and EGFR, if MET is most common, then yes, by all means, that's really important characteristic.
I guess this is saying like the MET exon 14 mutations as well as MET amplification, like those combined are comprised of approximately 22% of mutations in PSC.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty, vital information. So
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I'll
okay. So what is the PDL1 prevalence?
this one. Because I was gonna like mention all the specific numbers in discussion, but I was just
Yeah.
being very broad.
Yeah,
But
that's
here
fine.
it's
That's fine. SC is what is it? Sarcomatoid carcinoma. Okay.
sarcomatoid carcinoma, so 53% out of 75 sarcomatoid
It's a higher number.
compared to 11 and something. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can mention numbers in the discussion, but say, compared to non-sarcomatoid, sarcomatoid has more, I guess,
A higher
higher
or
expression in sarcomatoid. Yeah, that's
like basically just yeah.
that is good enough. Yeah, I don't mean to add numbers here, but yeah. Okay. Okay, looks good.
Yeah, I'll work on the discussion part. But yeah, that's all I have for start, and then the other times I was just focused on the transplant project, which Dr. Wongiwal mentioned.
Okay.
Sally, I think so. Sally helped me open the file. So Sally's going to share the screen with the Excel sheet where we organized all of the patients for this cohort. This is cohort 11, sarcomatoid. And the patient in particular we're looking at is case number 11. And I think that patient, there was mention of a carcinosarcoma as well. So Sally, can you open up the path report, the PDF file for this patient ID? So if you look at the other tab,
That one?
well, this is like the summary of them. We're actually looking for the path report. So if you go back to the folder,
That one? This is the file that I opened.
yeah, that's the file. Can you go back to the Dart swag folder and then it should be the last one on the very bottom. Well, did we open that one? And then what was the patient number? Like patient ID?
It was 287470, 287470. Oh, I think it's
And if you can share that screen.
maybe at the bottom of the
Yeah, scroll down a little more.
here. Oh. Spindle cell process.
Spindle cell process.
Final diagnosis down. Oh, okay. Carcinosarcoma.
Yeah.
Why was it coded as mesothelioma then?
So sometimes the I don't know, but sometimes like the clinical coordinators at each site, like they put in whatever without fully understanding. So there's a lot of discrepancies in the naming and like the coding. So that's why we had to go through all of the path reports ourselves um, and like organize and also in some cases recategorize patients.
Yeah, it happened multiple
So yeah.
times. That's why clinical
Mm.
coordinators, sometimes they just have undergrad biology degree. That's it. And then, it's up upon them to fill out the forms. So they sometimes make a lot of errors in filling out the forms that Megan uses. So that's why we have to go through everything again. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Could we go through each patient? Like not now, but like can someone, Sally or Liam, can someone please like confirm each subtype? That would be nice to have the exact histology instead of just saying sarcoma twin.
Yeah, I should be able to help you with that. So did you want to just go by the WHO classification or like
So
Yeah, like
if
the
you can tell
exact
us
subtypes.
how
But whatever first of all, exactly right, whatever the pathologist wrote. Quote.
Mm.
And then we can reassign them later into a certain category. And if it's spindle
okay.
fractures, whatever that is, yeah, just write down. And then later, if you have problem classifying them into subtypes, ask me.
Okay, so I'll share that Excel file with you. I think that would be because that's what we did on that Excel file. And if there's anything additional you want me to check, I can definitely do that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Sally.
But these
Thanks.
are, I think, all reviewed by I reviewed each case before for the abstract. So
Yes.
these are final. But in terms of classifying patients, yeah, we can do a better job because the coding is not accurate. The one that Megan has, at least. Yeah. Okay. Very good. Sarcomatoid. Yeah. So, any update on your other projects?
Dr. Wangi will give you the update on the pre-TM project.
Okay, before we go there, any update on the Tempest projects?
Discover team, the mucinous lipidic team, they're still analyzing the OS and time to distant mets. I think I will have to I think I asked Dr. Wangi and I think he was okay with being the main for that one, and I'll be like the assistant kind of. I'll try to participate even after I leave, but I just can't guarantee anything. So I asked what Dr. Wangi if he would be interested in kind of being in charge.
Okay,
I
Dr.
think he said yes.
Wangi, are you is it okay you take over this project?
I think I should do that. There is no many options. I will try to, I think it's good for me to study, and yeah, I will contact Hasong, and yeah.
I'll try my best. I'm sorry for putting you on the spot. I thought you were okay. Okay, sorry.
Okay, there's two projects. One is Discover project with mucinous lipidic, and there's a TAP project that's looking at tumor heterogeneity. So we'll, but then the TAP project, Stas is our medical student we're working together with. So, and then, yeah, Dr. Wangi, you could work on these projects with Haesong in the meantime, and when Seyoung joins, she can also come in and help Dr. Wangi as well.
Great.
Yeah, and for that matter,
Dr. Yu Young is
Dr.
joining soon too.
Yeah, Dr. Yu Jung can also join the effort of the Tempest project as well. That may be good. That may be a nice project that Dr. Yu Jung can work with Dr. Wangi. Yeah. So if you join, work with Dr. Wangi, data writing paper, everything. But I guess yeah, Haesong is signing out to Dr. Wangi for now, and when Dr. Yu Jung joins, you can be part of the team. And the ones that you sign out, Haesong, by the time of publication, whoever did the most work, I will determine who needs to be the first author and all the authorship, because it's so hard. We don't know how many revisions would come. And if you want to do all the revision, write all the paper, you're welcome to, be the lead author and the project lead. But I know you have a lot on your plate, so if you sign out, I think, writing a paper is not easy. I know you did the abstract. Well, the Tempest team did a lot of the work, analysis, and writing the abstract. So it's a collaboration. So at the end of the day, I will make that final decision who did the most work, more work than the other. But as you know, the project we never know how it pans out later. But for now, Dr. Wangi will be the project lead starting after Dr. Haesong leaves the lab. I think her last day is next Wednesday. So until then, Haesong, you're in charge, 28th. And after that, Dr. Wangi will be in charge. And then actually, Yu Jung is coming on March 1st. Are you? Yeah, so not a big gap. March 1st, Dr. Yu Jung is coming. So yeah. So for Tempest project, So mucinous lipidic, we're waiting for the overall survival data, and we decided to give me an update to present the data at World Lung or
So, we submitted the mucinous versus non-mucinous to ASCO, but that didn't have the OS analysis. And so if it gets accepted, in the poster, we will include the results of OS analysis there for mucinous versus non-mucinous. And then lipidic versus non-lipidic will be submitted to World Lung, which will include the OS analysis. And also if the time to distant mets is also prepared, then for, we will like add those information accordingly. But basically mucinous to ASCO and lipidic to World Lung, and then manuscript on the background. But yeah, I will intermittently, because I've always been like contacting the team, so I know the best. So I will help out with the communication part, but I definitely don't have the confidence to say I'll be in charge from now.
I know you're starting your clinical job pretty soon now. So it's not just for Haesong, whoever is leaving the lab, our routine is write SOP for each project and everything that you just said. What's the next action item? Where are we presenting? Who's the point of contact? And where's the database? Where do you download the data? Where is prior abstract? All that, put that in the Google Drive, share that with all the project lead, CC me in all your communication about the SOP. So each project, you have to make an SOP. So this SOP, imagine we're all going to a conference. We're on the same flight and the flight crashes. And there goes every knowledge that you have in your head. So that's why for all projects, we have to have a SOP that someone who doesn't know anything about the project can pick up and knows everything. Like where's the data, who did the analysis, where is the next data being presented and, point of contact and all that. So make that into a Google Doc for each project and share that with Dr. Wongi and Dr. Yujong as well. And it has to be both paper sign out with all the information, plus have a, Dr. Wongi is with you in the same space. So it has to be face-to-face or Zoom sign out, like, have time to answer questions, so that what we cannot tolerate is like, I got the sign now, but I don't understand. Or like, I got the sign now, but I have further questions, but I can't, I cannot get hold of the person who signed out. So this is what we want to prevent. Every sign out has to be perfect. And the people who get the sign out will have the complete knowledge of what the project was and where it's going. So that itself is I want that to be a professional process for each project. If you're not signing out, if you are still remaining as a project lead, you need a point of contact, because sometimes you don't have access to Epic, or you don't have access to many other things. So point of contact doesn't mean you're signing out, but it has to be a level of signing out, because same thing, if you get sick, if you get overwhelmed with your clinical work, you'll be like, I don't have bandwidth to give you directions or help you out. So that has to be a same rigor as sign out, but you still have the lead authorship, project lead, and you are still in charge of completing the project. But the point of contact will help you get things done, and will be in also, that person can be Liam, Sally, or Seong if Seong comes. So it could be either one of those people. So this is not just for Haesong, for anybody. Same thing, Dr. Wongi, when you are done leaving our lab, That's what my expectation for you, okay? So a lot of times they leave our lab and then it's just hard to know what that person was doing and where's the data. It's just been really difficult. Although we always had this policy, we just have to remind people that this is what we want. Okay, any update from Stas? Hesong? I know he's busy these days, but
Yeah, so I told him that I'm leaving soon, and he will be the lead for the like all the heterogeneity projects. But I think, well, since he's also in the match process, and he's kind of going to be on the bridge soon, he can update you further about like how much capacity he has and etc. And we're still waiting. We're still in the process of revising the JCOPO paper. And well, that's been rejected, but we got a bunch of comments, and so we're gonna try to fix that and submit to next journal. And that paper was on the early stage non-small cell lung cancer with low TNB and differentiating those patients into different like ITH groups using PyCon.
wow, too bad they got rejected. Did we decide on the next journal?
I don't remember. Not sure if you told him yourself, but
See, I can't remember. That's why we need like a Google Doc for each project. So Sally, I want you to be in charge of writing out all the project, making sure you're in touch. Either you or the project lead writes out where is it submitted and then when's the next journal and who's the project lead, and I'm almost liking us writing a sign out of each project so we know what was discussed and we don't have to because my memory has a lot of limits. I tell you guys one thing and so many projects so I can't remember. So someone has to write down. That's why we record all these sessions so that you can like Stas can listen to this later on. But and I told Sally and Liam, like for every project we discuss, we need a separate file, like action items. Where is it going to, like all that. So let's start now. So for the Sally and Hesong, you guys can work on the sign out. So for the first mucinous lipidic project, the project lead will be Dr. Wong Gi, and then the team member will be Dr. Yu Jung. And then for the Tempest heterogeneity project, I'll say the project lead is Stas, but I don't know how busy he's gonna be. So same thing, co-lead will be Dr. Wong Gi, and the member will be Dr. Yu Jung. And then that and then and I want co-lead to be Dr. O.H. Coin, Coyin. So she's our Hemonc fellow. And she has a very strong bioinformatics background. And then when Dr. Min Jung Kim joins, she'll be the co-lead of this project as well because it's heavy lifting of bioinformatics. But the JCOPO is going to be Hesong and Stas. So you guys are gonna, take it all the way till you publish it, right? So that just keep a log of we're submitting, what's the deadline, all that for that project.
do you have any suggestions for the next journal?
So it's molecular.
I can show you the comments if that's helpful.
Yeah,
Okay, one sec. Oh, and by the way, for the rejection PTM association paper, I've already signed out to Dr. Wang Qi.
oh, which paper?
The rejection PTM
Oh,
association paper.
oh, yeah. Post-transplant malignancy.
That's gonna be our next one. But yeah, I'll be intermittently like contributing as well.
Okay. Reviewer 1. Okay, analyzing, specifically focusing on
So
intratumor.
yeah, the title was this.
Yes. And analyzing by specific histologic subtype. There's a lack of focus on hypotheses that lead to these findings, multiple testing bias and false positive findings in the analysis. Utilize depth. Main weakness, restricting to low TMB, is justified by being understudied in the introduction. However, it would also be helpful to articulate a potential biological rationale as to why this cohort may be particularly worth evaluating with ITH. Okay. So this one, it's a really good comment. So high TMB clinically, not lung cancer, but we have pembrolizumab as high TMB treatment option, but low TMB, there's no is considered less responsive to immunotherapy in general. So fewer options of effective immunotherapy for low TMB patient, and that's the clinical rationale why this is unmet need compared to a higher TMB. So that can be added into the paper. Overall, there is significant concern for multiple testing bias. Yes, we acknowledge this. We wish our patient sample size was larger, but this is inevitable, and just discuss this in the limitation section. Abstract would include definition of intratumoral heterogeneity. How do you define? Well, I guess we define. Oh, why is it blurring to me? Oh yeah, now it's okay. So we have our own definition, calculating from PyClone, so we can add that because it's a concept if you don't define it. Like, how do you how do you calculate the number? So for here, the definition is more of how do you get those ITH numbers? Explain that. Like,
Yeah, the thing is like we cited all those papers. We talked about the clinical reasoning for studying the low TMB patients. We like mentioned each one of them in our paper already. Even the pipeline one we mentioned, you remember like status paper on
oh yeah, I
like
do.
assessing assessing heterogeneity, all the methods. So I guess more information.
I think they
Provide
want
more
this
information.
this reviewer wants more of that in the abstract, but I guess do what you can and then don't try to overdo it because we're not submitting here again. So just the critical ones we can fix, we should fix. Would update overall patient number to 741. Okay, not to run background demographics table 1 due to multiple tests. What does that mean? Background demographics? I don't get this comment. the mechanistic hypothesis is generated by driver gene analysis are highly speculative and could be revised to a few key takeaways. It is speculative. I mean, it's a discussion. But it doesn't say clearly what to do about it.
Mhm.
Okay, reviewer 2. Manuscript disease-free, correct survival statistics, disease-free survival since the patients are stage 1 and 2. Okay, so that's a good comment. You can reflect that. Low TMB IO efficacy is not well studied and may represent an unmet need, potentially addressed by combining TMB with other specific biomarkers. But in the article, they mentioned that this statement is true for cancers where TMB high does not predict response and not low TMB tumors as an entire category. But in this article, they mentioned that the statement is true. True where TMB high does not predict response and not low TMB tumors as an. I don't get the comment.
Yeah.
What do you think it is about?
I'll look at the paper again, but I guess it's saying that because it didn't focus on the low TMB tumors, we can't make this statement. I think the paper overall was just about how TMB is not like accurate. It's not the best biomarker.
Okay, driver mutation, but failed to mention if there were any fusion events screened for which are likely to be missed by whole exome sequencing. That's so trivial. It's okay. When I say mutation, it includes fusion for you guys' learning sake. Difference in stage and survival across groups is a big confounding factor since the sample size is not high enough, especially with the use of adjuvant therapy at the time. Of course it is. That's why we want to, do these analysis by stages or adjusting for these stages. So we understand this is a huge limitation. We just acknowledge that in the paper. There's difference between lung squamous adeno, EGFR, which has low ITH, may be driving the association of low ITH to a better survival. It would be useful to have non-driver as a separate group. So I think we were trying to do this. Take out the EGFR and rerun the same analysis and see if the same conclusion is reached. So I think I talked this to Stas, but yeah, just keep that in mind and do this analysis if not already done. In age of use of checkpoint therapies across most stages in lung cancer and with the correlation between ICI and use and ITH, including and stratifying patients by treatment given to patients might be beneficial. So we want to do this, but with TCGA data, we can't do this. So we can put that in like a future. We want to do this, but with TCGA data, we weren't able to do it. So, okay. Yeah. So good comments. Let's reflect this and submit maybe to. So, JCOPO, okay. JCOPO. Why don't you try BMJ Open? British Medical Journal. BMJ Open is it's a nice journal that's growing. Yeah, let's try that. Do you, Haesung, do you need help with this paper? Do you need,
No, no, it's just like additional. It's just I think wording, like clarifying.
yeah, okay,
I don't. It doesn't seem like these are like major things.
right,
So
okay, so just, yeah, and then just submit to BMJ open then, yeah.
yeah.
Good. So those are, yeah, the heterogeneity. And then the next is the transplant project, right?
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the trial things will be back to will be maybe Liam. Or
Oh yeah, the last trial.
There's the last trial. There's the thyroid trial. There's also the anti PD-1 anti LAG3 combination
Yes,
last trial, which was rejected by Regeneron, and so for the next one, yeah.
that was rejected by Regeneron. Did we submit that to anywhere else?
No, but I will have to ask someone else to do it. I'm kind of trying to finalize everything. So.
Right. So Liam and Sally, you're the bookkeeper. So we have thyroid trial. That's, what's the company name?
Agenus,
Agenus, yes.
Agenus.
Yes, so there's that trial. So any file, everything about it, send to Sally. Well, I think we have another Zoom meeting coming up with that company. Is that true? That's all? Where are we?
Well, when Liam and I attended the meeting, they talked about having another meeting 1 month later from that day, which should be late February, but we have not heard back from
Okay,
Agenus.
so Liam, you are the lead for this trial now. Make sure you get everything from Haesung. But I think you probably must CC'd on all the everything, but so far.
Yeah, he has everything.
Yeah, and Sally, make sure you record everything in Google Doc about this trial. And make sure there is a follow-up meeting already scheduled. If not, let's schedule it. Let's move forward with this trial. And this is the Agenus PD-1 CTLA-4 in anaplastic thyroid plus other thyroid, if they allow, right?
Right.
Okay. And then the second trial is the PD-1 plus the LAG-3 trial in Regeneron that was rejected, but that's the DART2. So that's, yeah, so DART2, we're using the same, well, we're in DART2, we're using BMS drug, which is called Opdualag, but it's,
Wait, Dr. Chae, that's it's last two. So it's for I2 tumor.
oh,
For the PD-1 LAG-3 is for last
last
two.
two,
It's for
okay, last
high, yeah.
two, got it. So the last two was rejected by Regeneron. Yeah, right,
Yeah.
okay. DART2 is BMS Opdualag in, there's no TIL. So DART is, there's no biomarker. So we have DART2.
That one's in triage.
Yeah, that one's in triage. So keep log of where things are, Sally. That's in triage, DART2. Last two, if Regeneron rejected, I don't think we can do anything about it. So I'm gonna stop because it's rejected. Last we did everything we can. And there are Regeneron IITs. So there's Regeneron Lunit studies. There are and there's two. So we have to keep track of this one. So for these studies, Liam will be the lead to track them down and kind of move forward with all the meetings. So LUNIT IIT is the retrospective LUNIT analysis in Regeneron published study. That was the semi-plimab plus EP plus chemo trial. So that's one project right there. So Sally, that's the LUNIT Regeneron IIT. And then we have a second one, which is the LUNIT Regeneron commercial validation study. And that is to see out of all three commercial TIL platforms, who performs the best. So LUNIT versus two other companies. And this is the FDA trial. So we need to figure out what's going on with that study. So that's a separate one. So let's keep the conversation going with Regeneron and LUNIT on this one. But we dropped last two. Okay. So those are the studies ongoing with Regeneron. We had the tumor treating field. So that's waiting for budget. Rebecca Werner just emailed me a couple days ago asking me where things are. So is it still with Hugh?
Yes, it's still with you. We have a meeting coming up with him in February, so hopefully you will be able to hash it out with him. But I think the last trial budget is priority, and then NovoCure would be kind of number 2 priority.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, everything about last trial, Liam, you and Sally, you support everything about the last trial. So you sign out everything about the last. Okay, so those are the trial. Anything else, Hesong? Okay.
Those are the big ones, yeah.
Yeah, so for the
PTF, I wasn't really involved. So.
okay, that was who wrote that? Tegyu? Was Tegyu wrote?
Thank you, yeah.
Tegyu, yeah. So all these opportunities for you guys to be involved in the initiation of the trial is for you guys to learn, have the opportunity to know how the trial happens. But the good thing is you can write that in your CV or your resume that you were part of the initiation team, or you wrote the protocol with me, you did all those things. So you can put that in your work resume. It's not a publication, but writing a protocol is a big deal. Have you written a protocol yourself? It's an experience sometimes you never get until you become a junior faculty. Okay. So I want you to, have a pride that you and then be part of the sim team, and how does these things happen in real life, and what gets audited, and all that. It's important. Real world experience. And then funding, you have the best intention, best team, and got the money, and then the funding dies later on, then just like Richard said this morning, like because no more funding left, we had to close the trial. So I'm doing that in many cases. Sad. Okay. Haesung, anything else before we move on to Dr. Wongi?
Yeah, actually, there's this one immediate question I need to ask. 1 second. Right, so this is, so first of all, the one on the right is the sarcomatoid patient summary. The primary site is lymph node, and I think this just means that the biopsy was taken here and the diagnosis was made here. And so I think I should just like ignore this part when remaking the table.
Yeah,
Right.
biopsy site, yeah.
Yeah. And then here as well, this is non-epithelial ovarian cancer, primary site, peritoneum. I think I'm just gonna remove this.
Primary site for that's little different because sometimes you
Oh.
can't find the ovary. And sometimes it's primary peritoneal cancer, but we still put that in the category of ovary because
Mm,
they're so similar. So
yeah,
so this one
Okay.
is okay.
okay,
A good question.
okay. Yeah, that's all. All right, that's all I have.
Great job. And yeah, I you know I'm so amazed how you could be involved in so many projects and do this
No,
well.
I'm
So,
grateful to be yeah, I think I've had like so much exposure to research, so it's great that I got a taste of like, every bits and pieces of like, whatever that's available, retrospective and prospective.
good. I'm
Yeah,
glad you
gonna be
enjoyed
busy
it.
finalizing things.
Yes. But thank you. Thank you for everything. Dr. Wangi.
Yes. So 3 projects are going on. The first project, pre-TM, we finalized the first draft. I sent the draft on last Friday. So do you have any comments or? Oh,
No, let's review it together here. I was busy.
okay. There are too many things, I think so. So the abstract is same as the one we submitted in ASCO, and
Okay.
so these are the introductions.
Mm-hmm.
These are methods.
Wait. Too fast. I need
Yeah.
to. So
Okay.
I'm looking at paragraph by paragraph. So
Okay.
show me the first paragraph. Yeah, so the clinical outcome got better, and then the history and the consensus with the malignant cancer patients. Okay, next paragraph. And the UNOS data, go down to the next paragraph. UNOS data and demographics. Okay, go down. Okay, a notable gap. Okay. So dissect the clinical outcome in the contemporary era with individuals with pre uh, transplant malignancy, critical demographic factors. What do you mean when you say critical demographic factors?
So actually, our data is update with matching age, sex, and race factors. Those are critical demographic factors. Because previous publication just they didn't compare and in the groups. So I think it was a bias on the previous report in UNOS data. So yeah, this means age, sex, and race. Those 3 factors.
Okay. This Hesong and Liam, do you think it reads well? The enhanced clinical decision making concerning the feasibility.
I mean, I wrote it, so
Oh, you wrote it, okay. Enhanced decision making concerning the feasibility. The objective. Aim, objective. Well, I guess the objective is I guess the expected future implication of the study. So objective is like really what you are analyzing, the association between the two. But future, is it the final goal? It's or it's more like,
Implications?
yeah, and it's more like a discussion or the conclusion material than with or the with the intent to enhance this study aims to that this study. So when you say objective, this is more like concrete what we're gonna do. Like objective is to assess response rate. You know, things, you know, for
Or just
for-
you can just remove these sentence.
so I would say maybe with the purpose with the intent to enhance this study aims to maybe just so maybe get this sentence in front of this study aims to. So with the intent to enhance, this study aims to. Maybe that will give you kind of context of why we're doing what we're doing.
Mm.
Okay, move down to methods.
Okay.
Study population. Okay, the primary outcome, secondary outcome. Okay, go down. Pre-TM, post-TM. When you say pre-TM, post-TM analysis, like we don't get a sense of what you're analyzing. Or is it survival analysis? Recurrence. So after I think you have to write something like, what are you analyzing? Analysis. Survival, recurrence, analysis of recurrence or survival. So write something that you're,
Yeah, everything's a clinical outcomes analysis.
yeah, that's okay.
Mhm.
Go down. Statistical. Okay, go down. Result. Characteristic. Okay, table 1. Okay, pre-transplant. Go down. Older, higher. Okay, go down. PTM had the worst clinical outcome in terms of overall survival. However, the difference was not observed after. Okay, go down. Post-transplant malignancy. Okay, go down. Recurrence of pre-transplant malignancy. Okay, go down. Go down. Go down. Okay, go down. Okay, post TM, good. Despite does not directly translate to poor overall survival rates. Okay. Routine checkup and go down, multidisciplinary. Go down. Okay, ctDNA. Ongoing trial. So here, um, um, okay. Go down. I like the limitation, number 1 and 2, go down. Good, good. Not much to change. This is very well written, very succinct, to the point, and all the good points in the discussion. Yeah, very well done. Very well done. It reads so well. And it's a very clinically relevant question. And yeah, yeah. Any questions?
So is it okay to check Dr. Barat? And I think the target journal, the Journal of Heart and Lung Transplant would be the best.
I
It- it-
Yeah, what is Journal of Heart and Lung Transplant?
yeah. Impact factor is around 9 or 10, I think, but
Mm.
it is the most big society in these issues, so maybe they are much interested.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. So yeah, let's have Bharat review it and we should submit. Yeah.
Okay.
So what who show me the author list for this? Is it same as the abstract, the paper?
Yes, same as the abstract.
Yeah. Yeah, the title same as the abstract too, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yes, yes.
yeah, I think this is a great paper and very well written, large database. Yeah, I think it has a high chance get in. I'm just thinking for the dream study, we could because it's we, I know we wrote it like there's ongoing study or sometimes it reads better or bodes well when you say we are conducting, we are uh so we are or we can say instead of clinical trial we can say conducting, which is would we say registration study, clinical um clinical trial, clinical trial. Yeah, registration study. That's better. The study aimed to evaluate. Yeah. Okay, that because we the authors are doing this study and gives us more rationale, like why are you guys doing this type of
Mhm.
okay. Okay,
So
good. I think
from
it's ready,
yeah,
ready to submit.
yeah. So for the post TM and whole transplant issue, those will be the next manuscript. And for metastacectomy data, that Aranus and Brandon are filling up the tables. So after finalizing for the table, I want to give the main project to them so they finalize how to write papers in meta-analysis issues. So I will give much proportion for to them so
Mm.
that they can finalize the manuscript. Yeah, and we will have our group meeting to know the methodologic issues about meta-analysis with Brandon and Uranus. So I will check with them and I will guide them to finalize the project. So yeah, there's the process going on. And today
Are
I
they
prepared.
following okay, Brandon and Aramis?
Yeah. They are having exams and other issues, and Aranus is also, preparing to come here. So it takes time, but I think, before summer, I think we can finalize.
Mm.
So that is my intention. So but I'm checking now, and yeah, we need to see how they proceed with that.
Okay.
Mhm. So today I prepared a short introduction about ECMO. So because we are seeing many dream patients, so because of lung transplant, we need to know just basic concepts about the ECMO. So this is not very detailed information, but I think it will give you some ideas about how they are treated, and it is important to know how to follow up ECMO patient, understand them. So I just very brief introduction, not very academic or very deep issues, because ECMO has very short history. It first started about 50 years ago, and still they are developing new machines. And so, yeah, there will be many changes. So this is very, I want to give some fundamentals of that. So before to go on, we just want to review the very basic physiology of our heart and lungs. As you all know, so our vein SVC and IVC comes back to right atrium and it goes up back to right ventricle and it be pushed forward through from pulmonary artery to both lungs. And then it became the oxygenated blood and comes back to left atrium and left ventricle and it goes to the aorta. So, and it goes up to the cerebral perfusion and lower body perfusions. So this is basic concept. And as you know, the name of ECMO, extracorporeal membrane oxygenation, the name just has all meanings. So it is extracorporeal and membrane is the oxygenation means it's lung and heart. So the devices look like this. Some people call this PCPS, but it's the same one. Just they just mentioned it is percutaneous procedure to put the machines in. So these are common devices used in the worldwide. Now they have many new updates. So, but the basic principle is very same. So this is as you can see very small baby 1 month a baby. Even these kind patient can have this kind of machines and overcome the cardiogenic or pulmonary problems and still the device very large. So let me show you the components. So from the heart we drain the blood from RA and right atrium or superior or inferior vena cava and it goes to venous reservoirs. It's not that big, but it depends on the size. And it goes to the pump. Pump is actually work as a heart, just pushing the blood forward. and then it just goes to the membrane oxygenator. This is a lung. So it goes lung and it goes back to the aorta and then supply blood to whole organs. And then here you can see heat exchangers because blood comes out, the temperature go down. It can cause hypothermia, even especially for children, it's very severe. So we need heat exchangers. Also, there is heparin. These circuits are all heparin coated. So it has some anticoagulation effect, but also we need to monitor how to organize the anticoagulation levels. And as you can see in the membrane oxygenator, there is something we call, auto blender machine. So we can change the CO2 and O2 levels. So these are the basic components. So as you can see, here, dark blood, which is deoxygenated blood coming from the line, and it goes to the pump, and it goes to the membrane oxygenator, and it turns out to the, red oxygenated blood. It goes back to. And here, there is a dial. We can, it's like, just machine. If it turns on, and you can support more. If it go down, it can support less. So based on physiology of the patient, we monitor, we can change the blood pressure or other things. So this is a gas blender. We use how to control CO2 and O2 levels. And because this is, making another circuit of blood flow, we need to put cannula. So there's a return cannula. Return means taking blood out, the venous drainage. So return cannula is like the size of index finger, I think. But access cannula is kind of a artery supplies. It's size of the last finger, I think, usually. So there is also this kind of cannula. It's also there are many types depending on the size of patient. And indication, contraindication, indication is very same. This is called heart lung machine. So if there is any problem with the heart or lung, we can put it and we can maintain, blood pressure and oxygenation level. However, there is some also very gray area because whenever we put the ECMO, we should think about the risk of mortality. If it is too high with conventional therapy, then it is indicated. So, even though these two are very strong indications, but there are also some gray areas because this kind of 50% or 80% mortality prediction is based on clinical judgment. So, but anyway, there are two major types. Veno. It means taking blood out of venous and going back to the vein. So this is usually typical ECMO support that we need for lung transplant patient. Veno means to replacing the lungs. Veno arterial means cardiac portions. This is actually the first and major topic in cardiac surgery, and this is most common procedure. It has more kind of problem with management of cannula, but veno is not that difficult to manage, but it's very important report, bridge to lung transplant or after lung transplant, if the lung function goes too down, then we need to support the lungs for temporary for veno echo. So for contraindication, this is from ELSO guidelines. They mention about pre-existing condition which is incompatible with recovery. So this is also a very gray area. So some say malignancies should be excluded, but some say end stage should be excluded. So it depends on risk and benefit of the putting ECMO. So but usually end stage malignancy is not expected to have ECMO, but there are some who see there is a potential to any survival for benefit, and you can put it. So as I mentioned, this is venous ECMO. We take blood out of IVC. IVC comes out, it goes to pump, and go back to the pump and the oxygenator, then it goes back to the right atrium. Then the oxygenated blood goes back to the RV and it goes to the lungs. But because lung is not working well in these patients, so the oxygenated blood then comes back to the LA, LV and come to the aorta. So this is called femoral jugular. We take the blood out of femoral vein and we put the blood back to the jugular veins. This is most common for adult patient. But here in the US, the dual lumen cannula is more common. So, oh, this is not the one. Okay, so this is X-ray. You can see that here the drain corridor is in the IVC, and this is the uh, this here access cannula is here, so it can support for the lungs like this, total whiteout conditions. This is dual lumen cannula because in this case we need to put two cannulas on the lower body and the neck. It's very hard to manage, so it's here they developed a new cannula. Here there is a hole, one and two holes. It takes blood from superior vena cava and inferior vena cava, and it comes back to this pole. So it can go to RA, and oxygenated blood goes to the RA, and it goes to RV. So it has only access to the right jugular vein. So it is much modified version of dual lumen cannula, but very simple way, taking blood out from SVC and IVC and go back to RA and go back to LV so that it can go to the lung. Venoarterial is, we need to access artery because of heart is not functioning well. We take blood out of vein, usually femoral vein, and take it out. We give it back to another femoral artery so that, blood comes back from the lower body. So this is general typical type of VA ECMO. Heart is not functioning well, so we are putting like additional heart from outside, and it supplied blood from here to up there. So still heart is a function, but the pumping and ejection fraction or activity is low, so it can assist heart function and assist to perfuse our visceral organs. This is only topic that occurs in VA ECMO, because heart is functioning, so heart pump flows go here, but ECMO flow goes here. ECMO has more oxygenated level, so it is kind of balanced between elbow ejection and ECMO flow, but this is issue in VA ECMO and cardiac, so if you see these kind of patients, we can discuss it. This is too much topic, I think. So yeah, there's also another type of central ECMO is putting a heart drain out of the RA and going back to aorta. So, and in terms of patient care, ECMO requires a lot of care from multidisciplinary team, especially nursing care is very important. So because it is putting another circuit out of our body. So, when our blood comes out and it experiences another surface, it tries to clot. So we need to put patient on anticoagulation. So if we put too much, it can cause bleeding in, brain or GI tracts, then, then it is very worse the scenario. If it is too low, then it can cause blood clots in embolism or stroke. So we should monitor them. Also, there is an infection risk because this is another circuit out of body and it can cause infection and septic conditions and systematic inflammation. So that is one thing that we need to consider. This picture is you can see here just some dark things, right? This is the circuit that after we remove circuit, we check the circuit inside and there are some kind of, emboli or thrombus around here. These kind of things can go up. It can cause problems for the patients. So in lung transplant, the veno ECMO is most common. So when patient lung before transplant, we need sometimes veno ECMO because the lung is not doing well. But after transplant, we also need because sometimes because some patients have primary graft dysfunction, even though they got new lungs, they have some temporarily have some rejection, acute rejection or pulmonary edema. At that time, we need to make the lung rest. So we put support by the ECMO and we put the patient ventilator care with a very low setting to preserve lung. Low rate, low inspiratory time, low pressure, low FiO2. So these kind of things that we need to put on when we use veno ECMO after lung transplant. So the veno ECMO has many advantages. First, it does not go to the artery, and it can maintain normal prostate type blood flow because we do not affect heart functions. So it is much more optimized LV performance, and also because the blood goes back to alveoli and PA, so there is no risk of systemic embolizations. These are the veno ECMOs. One thing very interesting is awake ECMO is very important, and it shows how the team is working well in terms of ECMO cares. These are the photos that you can find, and actually you can see patient with veno ECMOs. Here, with ECMO, patient can alert, they can be extubated, they can just have oxygen, or they don't need oxygen physiologically, but they can maintain their function, because because when patients are on ECMO, they are usually on the bedridden status for a long time. It can cause muscle loss and it can cause other problems. So surgeons and clinical teams prefer to have a awake ECMO for patients. They can eat, they can walk, they can exercise before transplant. So, however, there are a lot of support staff needed. Somebody should monitor ECMO. Sometimes, in the middle of line, it can be disconnected, then it is whole, I have seen one. I have experienced one
Oh,
case with the ECMO. The, the power was just turned off because of low battery, and then
oh,
I just rotated there is a rotator that we can move. So the patient, saturation goes down to 100 to 50 in about 10 seconds, and I need to rotate, and it comes back, and patient becomes alert, something like that. So, now many institutions have a good experience awake ECMO. So here also they are doing well. So ECMO team is always good at, and this is new technology. This is not very new. It's been about 10 to 20 years. This is called ex vivo lung perfusion. Because in lung transplant, sometimes the donor lungs have very marginal status because of, infection or edema. But many surgeons and many want to, recruit as many organs as possible. So we take lung out and we put the lungs on ECMO and in this kind of support, we give blood, we take blood out. This is pump, heart, oxygenator, and some filter. And we also maintain ventilator with you. So I have experience in uh, pig experiment model, but here it is also common. So we can give antibiotics, we can give some drugs to treat, and we can even take x-rays for this status and check the function of the lung. And then we evaluate the organ status and transplant these to the patients. So usually we take the lung out. Sometimes we do ex vivo 4 to 6 hours and check again if the function is good, and you can put the lung back to the patient. So these are new technologies. So now many are doing this. So when you see our operation chart, you will see a lot of report about CPB and ECMO. Sometimes people use without specific, they think they are the same, but actually it's different. Cardiopulmonary bypass is kind of temporary and much larger devices like ECMO. ECMO is designed for, to support patient in ICU or in the general ward, but cardiopulmonary bypass is kind of full device designed for the surgery. So for cardiopulmonary bypass, we give much higher dose of heparin, and we can also use sucker to draw the blood out of the lung, out of the heart, or out of organs. This is usually temporary. For when they need cardiotomy or cardiac procedure, we need to shut down the heart and we need to manipulate so that in that case we use cardiopulmonary bypass. And yeah, so there is some differences. So if you see some medical note or maybe you can find information about that. So these are very brief introduction about ECMO. I hope it can give you some ideas, understand the patient with lung transplant. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So the cardiopulmonary bypass, you suck out, you make sure no blood goes to heart. And
No, actually, it is not. Actually, it is the much larger device we use the circuit is much longer and much bigger. So, in many centers, they just put ECMO in peripheral or in central, and they do lung transplant. So, but in case, because it is related to the access, when we do lung transplant, we open our body like this, and we call clamshell incision transverse, and we just open up, and with the major heart and aorta is exposed, then we can easily put the cannula inside here. So on that case, we use cardiopulmonary bypass, and we can take it out, and after that, because it gives much space to manipulate in surgical procedure. So, but after that, the lung is not good, and we need to put peripheral, in jugular and femoral, or we need to put ECMO again for support. But this is much, has more larger capacity to, intervene and to do some more procedures in lung transplant.
Oh, okay.
Is awake CPB possible?
No. Awake CPB is not possible because it's much larger, and there is, another big difference is blood reservoir. It means ECMO circuit is closed circuit. There is no reservoir. Blood comes down and comes back. Here, there is a reservoir. You can take the blood out and we can give it, comes back slowly, or we can put blood more to the transfusion here. So this is much designed for surgery, for cardiac surgery. So if lung transplant patient has some issue with tricuspid valve, then some institution do transplant and annuloplasty of tricuspid valve together. In that case, we need to open the heart. In that case, we definitely need cardiopulmonary bypass, and we need to also shut down the heart, which is called cardioplegia. Yeah, and then there is another topic in cardiac surgery. Yeah, there is some differences. But in general, during lung transplant, heart is beating always. We just heart is beating, and we just suture the pulmonary artery, bronchus, and pulmonary veins. So yeah.
Very good. Very good. Thank you. We're gonna wrap up here, but this was very, very educational. Thank you. Okay, I'll see you guys.
Oh, sorry, one quick question. Regarding the early stage non-small cell lung cancer low TMB paper that I wrote with Stas, you just said that you mentioned TLCR journal, Translational Lung Cancer Research, as the next journal target instead of BMJ.
Oh,
He said he's been already working on
Oh, yeah.
meeting
Do
the
that.
requirements.
Do that first. If it gets in, good. If it doesn't, BMJ open next. Yeah. Okay, good.
Okay,
Thank
sounds
you.
good.